This is Eyewitness News. Now, Mark Brown, Michelle Tuzzi, and Dallas Raines with the Southland's #1 news at 4.
Actress Meg Ryan says she's being stalked and she's in fear for her safety. The accused says it's not stalking because he claims they're married. Good afternoon, I'm Michelle Tuzzi.
I'm Mark Brown. This is Eyewitness News at 4. The man accused of stalking Meg Ryan put on a bizarre display in court, claiming that Ryan is his wife and that he is a victim of a vast conspiracy. Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Grande is live in Malibu, where the man is charged with breaking into a house he thought belonged to Meg Ryan.
Well, the judge ordered John Michael Hughes to stay at least 150 yards away from Meg Ryan and her family at all times. As you said, he broke into a house thinking that it belonged to Meg Ryan, and he told everybody that she was his wife.
This home is registered to Meg.
Dressed in a prison outfit and sporting a black eye, John Michael Hughes decided to act as his own attorney. He told the judge he and Meg Ryan were married, but it wasn't an official wedding. He called it an informal occasion.
What date were you married in this informal arrangement?
November the 11th.
Of what year?
Last year.
Where were you married?
Vancouver, Canada.
Who performed the ceremony?
A rabbi.
Hughes allegedly broke into this home on Malibu Country Drive on January 6th, searching for the actress. He apparently didn't know he was in the wrong house. He told sheriff's deputies Meg Ryan forgot to leave him the key under the doormat.
There's not a fiber of doubt in my mind that Mr. Hughes is delusional.
Hughes was arrested in November of 2000 for driving up to President George W. Bush's ranch in Texas and saying he had an appointment. Inside the car, officials say they found several weapons. Meg Ryan wasn't in court today, but in a statement she said that Hughes' alleged actions are alarming and have caused me to be concerned and fearful for my and my family's safety should Mr. Hughes ever locate or come near me. Today, Hughes told the judge that Ryan's statement was false and the president is involved.
That she has been coerced into giving that statement. This issue goes deep into the CIA, it goes into NSA, it goes into the White House, and it goes into the FBI.
A psychiatrist testified in court that Hughes is intelligent, sophisticated, and dangerous.
I believe that Mr. Hughes is a danger to Meg Ryan's safety.
The judge agreed, ordering Hughes to stay away from Ryan and her family for 3 years.
This is an unfortunate situation, and we are satisfied with the judge's result, and we hope that it ends here.
Hughes will also go to trial for breaking into that home in Malibu. He faces criminal charges of breaking and entering, and he is scheduled to be in court tomorrow morning. Reporting live from Santa Monica, I'm Carlos Grande, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Carlos, thank you. 3 young boys are arrested suspected of throwing large rocks off a freeway overpass into the busy traffic below. One crashed through the windshield of a bus, injuring the driver. Eyewitness News reporter Giovanna Lara has more.
The rocks were thrown off this overpass here some 30 feet onto northbound traffic. Just one driver was injured. The CHP says it could have been much worse. Police say this childish prank is no laughing matter. The 8-pound boulder that crashed into this MTA bus landed just inches from the driver. It was hurled off the Wardlow overpass onto the northbound lanes of the 710 freeway. The MTA bus driver never saw it coming. Neither did the driver of this semi-truck. Herman DeLeon wasn't hurt, but the bus driver was taken to a hospital with minor injuries.
He's very fortunate to sustain only the minor injuries that he did. Because of the size of the rock being about 7 to 8 pounds, it could have been a lot more serious.
Just minutes later, CHP officers arrested 3 boys. They were found near the freeway trying to wipe debris from their hands. In their possession, this rock. CHP investigators believe the boys, ages 8, 9, and 14, may be responsible for a rash of recent rock-throwing incidents in the same area.
The behavior in itself is very reckless, and so, like I say, whenever we receive calls of someone throwing rocks on the freeway, we take that very seriously because of the potential of the serious injuries that can occur, even fatality sometimes.
The children and their parents were cited by police. They'll have to appear in court, and it's possible the parents will be held responsible for the damage to the bus and the medical expenses for the driver. In Long Beach, I'm Giovanna Lara, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
And coming up a little later here on Eyewitness News, when kids commit crimes, should their parents be forced to pay the price? Should mom and dad be fined or even jailed when their kids run into trouble? Making parents pay. We'll have that story coming up at 6.
Updating the war on terrorism now. American officials have returned to eastern Afghanistan this afternoon. They're investigating claims that U.S. troops killed more than a dozen civilians. At issue is a raid staged by U.S. forces 2 weeks ago on a compound north of Kandahar. At a Pentagon briefing today, Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld said the civilians may have been caught in the crossfire between friendly and unfriendly forces.
In Afghanistan, people who are friendly and unfriendly are constantly meeting together. Indeed, sometimes the same people can be friendly and later unfriendly within a relatively short period of time.
Rumsfeld added that if American troops did accidentally kill civilians, they should apologize on the spot. The fate of kidnapped American reporter Daniel Pearl is still a disturbing mystery at this hour. Pearl was a bureau chief, or is a bureau chief, for the Wall Street Journal and a native of Southern California. He vanished in Pakistan 12 days ago. Then last week, his abductors released these photos and issued a list of demands. Today, his wife says she's willing to die in his place.
Who's more affected by Danny's disappearance. So if anybody's going to give his life to save him, it's me, right? And I have asked, like, please make contact with me. I'm ready.
5 days ago, Pearl's kidnappers threatened to kill him if their demands were not met. A wave of violence triggered by a terrorist group has remote parts of the Philippines in its grip. A Southland man's been killed and 2 other Americans are now held hostage. Hundreds of American soldiers have been sent into the Philippines as advisors in this war on terrorism. I went into the heart of danger in terrorist territory with Philippine soldiers to see what our fighting men and women will be up against. Join me for an exclusive report on the heart of danger starting on Eyewitness News tonight at 5 o'clock.
Kenneth Lay resigned today from Enron's board of directors, cutting his last tie to the company he nurtured for 16 years before it collapsed into bankruptcy. Lay stepped down as Enron's chairman and chief executive on January 23rd, citing his inability to run the company effectively while facing numerous investigations and lawsuits stemming from its demise. But he maintained his position on the board until today, the same day he was supposed to testify before 2 congressional committees. He canceled his appearance yesterday, saying he didn't want to be put on trial.
A 7-year-old girl is missing. Her parents are afraid she was kidnapped in the middle of the night from her own home. Her parents put her to bed as usual, but in the morning she was gone. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez joins us live from the newsroom now with the latest on the search. Miriam?
As the hours tick by, so does the intensity of the search. There are ominous signs in the disappearance of Danielle Van Dam, 7 years old. She was last seen in her own bed, at home, asleep. The anguish is sending her parents in all directions, searching for help in finding her.
I'm pleading with anyone who has seen Danielle, who knows where she is, to please come forward so that we can have our daughter home again.
Damon Van Dam can barely keep his composure. Police now believe his 7-year-old daughter, seen in this home video, was abducted by an intruder. It happened in the San Diego suburb of Sabre Springs. Van Dam tucked in Danielle Friday night. On Saturday morning, they checked her room and she was gone. Van Dam remembered then that he had let the dog out in the middle of the night and discovered a sliding glass door open. He closed it, not thinking anything about it, until Danielle turned up missing.
Danielle is 4 feet tall, 58 pounds, blue eyes and blonde hair. She was wearing baby blue colored pajamas with cascading flowers, exactly like these.
We're talking to everybody and anybody who knows any member of this family, who's had any dealings with any member of this family.
Kind of sad because I know she wouldn't wander off, so it had to be someone else.
Neighbors and police have combed the brushy hillsides and posted flyers. Registered sex offenders have been questioned.
Our hearts are aching for the safe return of our very special girl.
The FBI is offering assistance but is not actively involved in the investigation because there is no evidence she was taken across any border at this time. Reporting live from the newsroom, Miriam Hernandez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Mark, Michelle, back to you.
Miriam, thank you. Still ahead, it's a race against the clock and every second counts.
Rescue crews work frantically to save a construction worker in a trench. The full story next.
Plus, diehard Oscar fans may not be happy about this one. George Pinocchio has more on the changes affecting a long-time tradition along the red carpet.
Shopping for clothes for teens and preteens has never been easy, but is Britney Spears to blame for the sexy way so many kids are trying to dress these days? We'll hear what the experts say about handling the fashion fight with your kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dallas Raines. Temperatures hit the 70s today, but will it last? Forecast coming up next.
Eyewitness News anchor Mark Brown takes you to the next front in the war on terror, the Philippines. Why are some calling this a battle more dangerous than Afghanistan? Into the Heart of Danger, tonight at 5 and 6, only on ABC 7.
Backed up in all 4 lanes in both directions, all the way up to the 114-mile marker. This one's turning into a real mess, folks. If you can avoid the freeway at all, I suggest you do. Moving on to the 302 interchange, not much new there.
Maybe! Maybe! Maybe!
Your destination is ahead on the left. But business-wise, Mr. Johnson, there's rough road ahead. Declining profit margins, complex new business challenges. You should call the Los Angeles County Economic Development Corporation.
They can help you with expansion, personnel, permits, tax credits, even the development of new markets. And their services are absolutely free. He's making the call.
Now, about that raise for Meredith in programming.
The LAEDC. Call 800-NEW-HELP.
The brain basically has 2 sides. The right side, which is the pizza side, or the left side, which is the sandwich side. Thanks to the revolutionary new Pizzone from Pizza Hut, the conflict between the 2 sides is over. Finito. No mas. Because the Pizzone is the pizza you eat like a sandwich. It's mozzarella cheese and tantalizing toppings. Sandwich calzone style. 51 cubic inches of perfection. So big, we dare you to eat it alone. $5.99 or have a Pizzone party. 2 for $10.99. The Pizzone revolution. Only at Pizza Hut. Join us.
So, you want more money?
Need a new job? Get the Career Builder section in Sunday's Los Angeles Times Classifieds or at latimes.com. You'll find thousands of local jobs, career advice, and more. In print, online, your future is here.
Actor Kevin Bacon, plus from Ed, Tom Cavanaugh, on the next Live with Regis and Kelly.
Tomorrow morning at 9.
Only on ABC 7.
A sudden slide traps a worker up to his shoulders in shifting soil.
Co-workers who witnessed the accident make a frantic call, and what happened next was all caught on camera. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia has more on the heroic efforts to rescue a man trapped in a trench.
The crew was working on shoring up the hillside when the trench collapsed. That's when the 28-year-old worker was trapped, buried in dirt up to his nose. This was about 8:30 in the morning. His co-workers did what they could to keep him alive while they were waiting for firefighters to arrive.
I ran away and I got a piece of the garden hose. I cut it and we took it to his mouth and started, blowing a little bit so he can have a little bit of oxygen.
One of the firefighters who worked on the rescue tells me that at one point when they were down in the trench digging, they felt that they were going to have to be rescued as dirt was falling on his shoulders.
Unfortunately, when I was down on this gentleman, there was a small cave-in and it landed on my back. It was no big deal, but sometimes it gets a little nerve-wracking. They're going to be digging me out now, but it worked out real fine. Everybody jumped in and freed both of us real quickly.
It took firefighters nearly an hour and a half to dig the worker out. Cerber says the worker was conscious and alert through the ordeal.
Well, he could speak broken English, so his name was Walter, and I just kept saying, Walter will get you out, no problem, and at one time when I freed his arm, he gave thumbs up to me, so it made me feel good.
Just before 10 this morning, the worker, whose name hasn't been released, walked away from the trench and toward a waiting ambulance, complaining only of back pain. In Pacific Palisades, Sid Garcia, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
We're going to take you live to the scene of breaking news now. We're in South Los Angeles, not far from the Coliseum, where there has been a reported attack by a dog. Scott Reif has more information. Scott?
Well, Mark, according to authorities, it was a pit bull that bit a woman. She is being treated right now by LA City Fire. We believe that she's inside that ambulance. This is at 1175 West Browning in the Los Angeles area, just to the west side of the Coliseum. Animal control will be called. There will be an investigation. We're not certain how badly she was injured, but we do know that a pit bull got loose, we believe, and bit a woman. She is now being treated here in LA. Reporting live from Air 7, I'm Scott Reif, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Scott, thank you. Still ahead, you may have seen her on today's Oprah, but is Britney Spears a good role model for children? We have the results of an exclusive Eyewitness News poll next.
Plus, are performers like Britney Spears leading kids to dress too sexy? Find out how parents should handle it when their kids want to dress older than their age.
They can be frightening and fun, but are they dangerous too? Hear the surprising new information about roller coasters and their effect on your brain.
And let's take a live look from our Long Beach camera. And there it is, little haze hanging over the ocean out there. Dallas Raines will explain coming up.
At 5 on Eyewitness News, it's the next stop in the war on terror. Will the Philippines be another Afghanistan or the next Vietnam? Mark Brown journeys into the heart of danger. Then Enron's trouble. Could its problems affect your electric bill? At 5 on ABC 7.
I believe the best theater in town is in my living room.
Cable TV with more oomph? You better believe it. AT&T Digital Cable from AT&T Broadband.
I believe having more channels means having more of what I want to watch.
Loads of great programming for the entire family.
I believe every day should be Saturday morning.
Plus, there's an interactive program guide.
I believe I will be master of my TV.
I believe big budget movies should fit into my budget.
Log on now to attbroadband.com.
I believe I will.
AT&T Broadband. Believe in it.
In the lush Central Valley of Chile, it's taken centuries of experience to grow fruit this good. Fortunately, it arrives fresh at Ralph's considerably faster. Fresh Chilean fruit. It's in season and in your supermarket right now. Brought to you with care by the fruit farmers of Chile and Ralph's.
Go crazy for El Pollo Loco. And with any 8, 10, or 12-piece meal, get another large side free. El Pollo Loco, when you're crazy for chicken.
This ABC 7 Eyewitness Newscast is brought to you by Hyundai.
Introducing the new Sonata from Hyundai. Redesigned with V6 power, room for 5, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan.
Daddy, look what I got at school today.
That's great.
Gonna put on your new car, Daddy?
Let's go put it on Mommy's car.
The new Sonata. There's not another thing it needs.
Shopping for clothes for teens and preteens has never been easy, and with today's sexy styles made popular by Britney Spears and others, dressing your kids can be tougher than it's ever been. Experts, though, say there are ways to end fashion fights with your kids. Eyewitness News reporter Kathy Vara has the story.
Since Britney Spears first burst on the music scene and became this generation's top pop princess, she's become known almost as much for her tummy as her tunes. In today's entertainment world, sexy images bombard our senses. And for parents of teenagers, dealing with those images can pose a big challenge.
You know, I don't like this. I think this is just too skimpy.
But when can I get it? How old do I have to be before I can get it?
Kim Rodak says shopping is getting a lot more complicated now that her daughter is getting older. But Rodak is doing the right thing by staying involved.
They can control the situation there and reinforce what's good about a girl's look as opposed to saying no, because that's not going to get them anywhere.
Parenting experts stress for teens, wearing sexy clothes is not about sex. It's about fitting in.
Sexy dressing is one of the most obvious ways to communicate to somebody else that you're part of the same group.
So if you find yourself losing the race with your teenage clothes horse, try these strategies. Set guidelines. For instance, a tank top may be okay, but not when paired with short shorts. When you talk about sexy dressing, focus on the clothes, not the child. That way you can help prevent hurt feelings.
They're really cute, but I think they're too short and just a little too flashy for you to be.
And use a firm no while at the store. That will end the haggling once you get home. Finally, remind your teen that Britney, Christina, Janet, and Shakira are performers.
They're on stage. They're not, hanging out at Starbucks. So, and when you see them hanging out in Starbucks, as all of you people in LA do, they are much more conservatively dressed. They have a t-shirt and jeans.
Kathy Vara, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, she was all over the Super Bowl yesterday. On today's Oprah, Britney Spears is immensely popular, but is she a good influence on teenage girls? Here's what our exclusive Eyewitness News poll found. 27% of adults surveyed say she is a good influence on teen girls, while 53% say she is a bad influence. 19% aren't sure. And when asked if Britney Spears is encouraging young girls to dress suggestively, 65% said yes, 27% said no, and 9% said they're just not sure.
A lot of people said the same thing about Elvis Presley back in the 50s.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, My Little Peaches is just still too young. That's good. So I don't have to worry about that yet. At 10 years old, you know, not a problem. We've had a beautiful day here in Southern California, as you know, and the weekend was fantastic. Wait until you see the 5-day forecast. That'll be coming up in just a few minutes. Now, let's go outside at this hour and check out this. Hey, we know these people. Look at this. That's Steve Alvarez and Matt Worcester, our producer here on the 4 o'clock news. And do they look like they just finished a marathon through the desert?
They look a little too fresh.
Yeah, I'm thinking like that was so easy. But they did the Death Valley Marathon this weekend. And it was like 30 degrees when they started and 150 when they finished. So congratulations, guys. That was great work, man. We've got quite the athletes here at Eyewitness News, don't we? All right. Here's the beautiful shot looking out toward Catalina. Now, we do have a lovely little haze there that is mostly sea salt in the air there. 78 degrees. Chatsworth this afternoon. Wow, what a day. Valencia's at 72. Now, the Santa Ana winds are going to blow through the canyon passes, Cajon Pass. You know those areas that are wind prone. We'll get them tonight up to 35 miles per hour, but that will usher in more beautiful weather for Southern California. Buena Park, how you doing down in Orange County? It's 74 degrees. Live Doppler 7000 has been scanning around. Does not sleep at all. Looking for precipitation, and there is none at all. Down through Orange County, we're going through Long Beach now, all the way out to Catalina. Again, clear skies, nothing in the way of any bad weather at this moment. Okay, let's take a look then what we have for you on the big picture. We went from our radar to the satellite view. There's the high sitting over Idaho. Winds coming in out of the northeast, gusty. That's the Santa Ana wind. Next weather system is out here, will cause more rain in the Pacific Northwest, but by the time it's moving toward the southeast, and by Friday, it'll kind of drift down into Southern California. But it appears now it'll just have a few clouds with it, and there is no rain in the forecast at this point. So look for lots of sun, some gusty winds, very dry, but very pleasant weather for you. All right, overnight lows, let's get them done. Here they are. We'll drop down, and it's another cold night. I mean, parts, if you're in a wind-sheltered area, actually the wind, believe it or not, allows the temperature to stay a little bit warmer at night. So if you're in a wind area, it'll be actually a little bit warmer. But overnight lows still quite cool. Then tomorrow's highs, wow, this is wonderful. In the mid-70s, we could see an 80 as possible. We saw a couple of 80s today. Big Bear at 47. Even the high desert now starting to warm up. Okay, 5-day forecast. The Live Doppler 7 5-day forecast. Gusty winds on Tuesday morning. Wednesday looks like a great day. There's that little front coming in on Friday, but notice we just bring in some fog and low clouds and take the temperatures down just a little, but all in all, we're looking very good. Now, however, this weekend, I'm not forecasting any rain, but next weekend could be a whole different ball game in my long range.
Okay.
Could be big. All right.
Get that Doppler fired up.
Be ready to roll.
Okay, Dallas, thank you. Still ahead, who are the most bankable stars in Hollywood? Entertainment specialist George Pinocchio tells us who did and didn't make the list.
Plus, another multimillionaire is buying a ticket to outer space. Meet the 20-something space tourist next.
A diet that helps you lose weight without going hungry? It's fact, not fiction. Still ahead, health specialist Denise Dodor explains how it works.
And I'm Kimberly Plummer in Pasadena, where the mother of baby Andrew is now claiming that her pregnancy was the result of a rape. I'll have complete details on that story coming up next.
All this week at 5 and 6, an Eyewitness News event as Mark Brown and David Jackson take you into the heart of danger. It's the next stop for the war on terror. Mark Brown takes you to the Philippines. Will the battle be another Afghanistan or the next Vietnam? Then David Jackson travels to war-torn Afghanistan. The new hopes, the new freedoms, the age-old challenges. Journey into the heart of danger. An Eyewitness News exclusive. All this week at 5 and 6, only on ABC 7.
Verizon is now offering great rates on all direct dial long-distance calls. So you can call Canada for just 7 cents a minute. Call the UK for a mere 9 cents a minute. Go ahead, call Japan for 12 cents a minute. Call all the way to Germany for just 15 cents a minute. But first call 1-888-896-1292 to sign up for the Worldwide Saver Plan and take advantage of these low rates with just a $3 monthly fee. That's 1-888-896-1292. Of course, you'll also enjoy a great 10-cent state-to-state rate right here in the good old U.S. of A. These rates are good 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, that's long distance done right.
Verizon. Look close, and you'll see why Zinedrin is #1 in America. Christy lost 84 pounds in just 12 weeks with Zinedrin, and Benny dropped over 65 pounds. Randy's never had so much energy since he lost 70 pounds with Zinedrin RFA1, the only diet supplement clinically proven to increase fat loss an extraordinary 38 times more than diet and exercise alone. And Poe, she lost 18 pounds in just 3 weeks with Zinedrin. #1 in America, 'cause it works.
At GNC and Albertsons. This Eyewitness Newscast brought to you in part by your Southern California Toyota dealers.
Toyota's reputation for quality and value goes back years. And now that legendary quality can be yours. Every Toyota certified used vehicle comes with 4.9% financing. Each goes through a 128-point inspection and carries a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. But hurry, 4.9% APR for up to 60 months ends soon. So see your Toyota dealer today. It's a feeling you can't get anywhere else.
A computer failure on board the International Space Station caused all sorts of problems today. Mission Control says it temporarily knocked out the space station's guidance system, and it prevented the power-generating solar wings from pointing toward the sun. At last report, the computer glitch was fixed, and things are getting back to normal. As for the crew of the 2 American astronauts and 1 Russian cosmonaut, NASA says they were never in any danger.
Well, those space station folks are going to have a visitor come April. 28-year-old Mark Shuttleworth is going to be the newest space tourist. He's paying close to $20 million for a ride on the Russian Soyuz spacecraft to the space station. NASA wouldn't let him aboard our space shuttle, but he did get a tour of Mission Control, and he can't wait for his once-in-a-lifetime trip.
I think I'm most looking forward to looking down on Cape Town from 400 kilometers up. That's going to be an extraordinary moment. I hope the weather is good for those 10 days.
Shuttleworth is the second space tourist. Dennis Tito, you'll recall, from Pacific Palisades, was the first back in 1999.
Well, with a name like Shuttleworth, it sounds like he belongs there, right? Still ahead, she is accused of throwing away her newborn baby in a dumpster.
Now we're learning more about the possible reason why. The surprising story from the young woman coming up.
I'm Jay Avila in Buena Park. Is our love of thrill rides putting us at risk? A new study is released on the link between roller coasters and brain injury. I'll have a live report when Eyewitness News continues.
And I'm George Pinocchio. In today's Hollywood Wrap, a big change at this year's Oscars. Will it affect you? And when it comes to star power, name the 2 stars who tie with Tom Cruise. What the survey says, coming up.
He beat Borg, Lendl, and Connors, but tomorrow morning, John McEnroe faces his greatest challenge, Mickey Laszlo. I'm David Ono. Watch as ABC 7's fearless traffic reporter goes head-to-head with Johnny Mac in his own version of his game show, The Chair, tomorrow morning.
Bobby, 300 yards passing. You had the carnivores rolling tonight.
No question about it. We executed the way we know we can execute.
Jack, was the Bacon Ultimate Cheeseburger combo a factor?
No question about it. That's our pregame meal. Bacon Ultimate Cheeseburger, a drink, and my new tastier fries.
Plus, Jack jumbo-sized the drink and fries for free.
Fourth quarter, they're driving. The wild chimpanzees seem to disrupt their offense.
No question about it. Get him off me! Get him off me! Chimps gave 110%.
In a perfect world, you could eat all the donuts you want. Until then, George Foreman Lean Mean Fat Reducing Grilling Machines, $59.99 at Mervin's entire stock sale. Now through Saturday. Save store-wide on the brands you want most. Mervin's. Big brands, small prices.
Are you shopping for the lowest mortgage rates available? Simply log on to or call Axiom Mortgage at 1-866-92-FIXED. 1-866-92-FIXED. Today's low 30-year rate is 6.50%. Call Axiom Mortgage and speak to one of our helpful loan officers. If you're interested in lowering your rate and payment or taking cash out, call Axiom Mortgage. Axiom Mortgage, the truth in mortgage lending.
The Sylvan Learning Center wants to help your child achieve success. Log on now to abc7.com and enter to win the Sylvan Learning Center Scholarship, because learning feels good.
Southern California, watch Jeopardy tonight at 7 on ABC 7.
This is ABC 7 Los Angeles. Now, Mark Brown, Michelle Tuzzi, and Dallas Raines as Eyewitness News continues.
A mother's story, a teenage girl charged with throwing her newborn baby into a trash bin. There's more now on why she says she took that drastic action. Good afternoon. Welcome back. I'm Michelle Tuzzi.
I'm Mark Brown. This is Eyewitness News at 4:30. It was an incident that shocked people here in the Southland, but a reluctant teenage mother is telling her story, revealing what led her to allegedly abandon her infant in a trash bin. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Plummer is live in Pasadena with the story. Kimberly?
Well, Mark, according to the girl's attorney, this teenage mom comes from a dysfunctional family who was abandoned by both her parents and then raped. And her attorney says she's not a criminal, she's a victim.
The 16-year-old mother of baby Andrew, the newborn infant found abandoned in a Monrovia trash dumpster last month, is now telling her lawyer the pregnancy was the result of a rape.
She was raped by a 25-year-old, what we understand is a local gang member out in the Inglewood area.
Pasadena attorney Joe Hopkins says his client should not be charged as an adult. She appeared in Pasadena Superior Court last Wednesday in a closed hearing. The charges are attempted murder and child endangerment. Hopkins says his teenage client did not try to murder her baby, but was motivated by fear after being abandoned by her own mother at 11 and kicked out of her dad's house. Living in fear her aunt would discover her pregnancy and put her out on the streets.
In the police report, it's clear that she said, I didn't want the baby to die. I was hoping somebody would find it. And she's now expressing a desire to have the baby. She was just at a complete loss, at her wit's end as to what to do to avoid another abandonment in her life, meaning abandoned by this aunt who had taken her in.
Now, right now, baby Andrew is being taken care of by foster parents, but as you heard, the attorney of baby Andrew's mother says she is expressing interest in keeping the baby. Reporting live here in Pasadena, I'm Kimberly Plummer, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Kimberly, thank you. Thrilling roller coaster rides could be dangerous to some riders' brains. That's according to a new report on injuries. It's important news for roller coaster fans here in the Southland, where 2 riders died here last year. Orange County Bureau Chief Jay Avila joins us live with the story. Jay?
That's right. One of those deaths allegedly involved a roller coaster here at Knott's Berry Farm. But the authors of this study, which was published in the Annals of Emergency Medicine, say that brain injuries involving roller coasters are still rare, but they are on the increase, and they're recommending that emergency room doctors check to see if brain injury patients coming in